Yeah, so this is basically what we normally do when we use the XMAP technology.
Yeah.
We have a beer, we just open the bottle of beer.
Yeah.
Then we sample the beer, we put it in a tube.
Yeah. It's a funny color, this beer. Does that mean it's got mycotoxins in it?
It's a cherry beer.
Ah,
so
okay.
It's a wild fermented beer, and they add cherries to that, so you create a lambic.
I see a lot of bottles here. Is that for recreation or is that part of your work?
Well, most of them we drank, and it's also part of my work.
Okay.
Okay, so basically now we have the beer in the tube. So what we do, we take a sample of 100 microliters out of that tube.
Yes.
And then we will dilute that beer with 10% methanol. We dilute it 8 times.
What is the purpose of the dilution?
The dilution is to get rid of matrix interference components. So,
is there a problem of decreasing the sensitivity of the test with dilution?
yeah, each beer certainly have a decreasing component. But that's why we always use a reference beer.
Yes.
We have our calibration curves in.
Yes.
Okay. So that's 10% methanol to dilute.
Yeah.
Then we quickly vortex the beer on a vortex.
Okay. And how would they do this in the field or in the house or in the kitchen?
You quickly shake by hand.
Okay. Mix it.
So this is automatically, and the other way is just if you have it in your hands, you just shake it quickly.
All right. And then you have a sample which is ready to be...
This will be directly analyzed.
In the food sniffer chip. So you could apply this directly to the food sniffer.
Yeah.
The Alkin company has developed a new device that can determine how many micrograms of toxins are present.
Okay, Diana, she will weigh in each tube that is here a sample of wheat, a sample of barley and a sample of maize. Yeah, she will do that one by one on the balance.
Yeah.
And then when that is ready, we will go back to the lab to put an extraction solvent.
Okay, good. Thanks. Where does this crushed powder come from? How is that prepared from the grain, the raw grain?
In Riekelt in-house we have a facility that grinds the sample for us. They dry the samples, they grind it, and then it's delivered to us in these small pots.
Okay, Jeroen, we now have 3 vials with the crushed grains in them.
Yeah, in each tube there is now 2.5 grams of the cereal that we weighed.
Yeah.
And the next step that what will happen is that Diana will add the extraction solvent, in this case 80% methanol. She will pipette it in the tubes and then the extraction will start.
Okay. Is that always standard what you use, 80% methanol?
No, the 80% extraction, the 80%...
Diana, you can carry on. Yeah?
The 80% methanol extraction is a method that we developed for several mycotoxins that we want to analyze in a multiplex format. So each mycotoxin has its favorite extraction solvent, let's say, and we combine them together and we select it.
Compromise, suitable for all.
It's a compromise.
Understand, understand. So for the use of food sniffer in the field, that would also be a reasonable compromise to...
For the mycotoxins that we have in the dough, let's say, yes, that's...
Okay, I understand. So what do you imagine, Jeroen, they might use in the field instead of this sophisticated pipette, what Diane is using?
Depends on the amount of material you weigh. So if it's a very small amount, you can use even bottles that have droplets. So you can count a certain amount of droplets
Okay.
and then say that is sufficient. We're going to put the tubes in the what is called an end-over-end shaker.
Yes.
So the samples will be mixed, and you can do this for half an hour. But you can also do it easily by hand, by just mixing it up and down.
Okay.
It's basically the same, it's just that you can prepare a lot of samples and walk away, and this you will need to do continuously.
Of course. And how long do you need to mix for?
We mix for 30 minutes to have an
Homogeneous.
homogeneous extraction, to make sure you get all the mycotoxins out of the homogenized material.
Yeah.
We have 30 minutes.
And if you're doing it by hand, like we saw Diane do it earlier, how long would you want to shake it up for?
If you do it by hand, well, if you need to speed up things, I would say 15 minutes.
That we do
The
now?
next step will be a centrifugation step,
Yeah.
where we will try to separate, or where we will separate,
Yeah.
the solid phase, the solid particles,
Yeah.
from the liquid phase. And in the liquid phase will be our mycotoxins that we are interested in.
Great. Okay. Okay. Do you see any alternative for use in the field for centrifuging or separation?
I can think about a very easy applicable filter.
Yeah.
Syringe in a filter. Where
Okay.
You push it through and you collect your supernatant.
Okay, right.
It's pushed through.
So how long do we centrifuge for?
We centrifuge for 5 minutes.
Okay. So what do we see, Jeroen?
What you see here are the extracts. You can see on the bottom is what we call the pellet. Yeah? So that is your grains. They are spun to the bottom. And on top you can see the extract, which now will contain the mycotoxins that are present in those grains. This is a machine built by Luminex, the XMAP technology.
Yeah.
It uses color-coded beads. These beads are color-coded with 2 colors inside.
Yeah.
With combinations of these colors they were able to make 100 unique beads. On these beads we couple antibodies, and the antibodies will compete with the mycotoxins and a reporter molecule where also a mycotoxin is attached. And the machine can distinguish between those beads. And by distinguishing those beads, it all happens in one well, it's multiplexing. You get the bead address, but also the signal which is on that bead.
Okay.
So that's basically the technology.
How long does the test take?
The test that we do takes 15 minutes incubation time. So that's without all the handling, but 15 minutes incubation time.
Yeah.
And then the measuring time for a full plate is about 1 hour.
Okay. How many samples can you do at one time?
We can do about 60 samples at one time. Depends if you measure it in duplo, triplo, whatever.
How many analytes can you measure? Is it?
This machine is capable of measuring 50 different analytes at the same time.
So 50 times 60 tests.
You will get 50 assay results
for
each sample that you measure.
Okay.
If you would have a 50 multiplex. So now we are measuring a 7 multiplex. So for one sample you get 7 mycotoxin results.
Okay.